Hello students, it's Miss Ayala. Today I am going to teach you how to subtract across zeros with this cool new method called square it up. But before I can teach you that, we have to talk a little bit about place value. So let's take a look at the number 300. From this problem that we have, we notice that 300 of course is on top because when you subtract, the greater number always goes on the top. But if I have 300 minus 156, looking at my ones place, I have a 0. Can I do a subtraction problem 0 minus 6? No, absolutely not. There's no way. I can't take 6 away from 0. The same thing happens here in the tens place. I cannot take 5 from 0. 0 is nothing. So finally, we get over here to our hundreds place, and yes, there is a number, but I want to teach you an easy way to subtract across zeros using the square it up method. But before, let's take a look here at the place value. So we have our ones, our tens, and our hundreds. Now, in my ones place, okay, when I square it up, I have to leave my ones place all alone. I have to make sure that this is not touched. I cannot square my ones place. So in the number 300, I'm going to square the tens and the hundreds place. So leaving my ones place alone, I see that I have 30 squared. Now, 30 is in my square because I'm squaring it up. My ones is by itself. Now take a look at this. 30. What I want us to think is that 30 is equal to my tens. So when you square it up, you're going to just look at ones, and these are going to be your tens. So let's think about what that means. That means that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those are my tens. I have 30 tens. So if I have 30 tens, I want to count by 10. So everybody, let's count by 10 together. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So that gives me 100. Again, if I had 10 tens, how much do you think all of those would equal to? That's right, that's 100. And if I counted all of these tens, 10 tens equals what? Good, 100. Look at that, that's excellent. So 30 tens and 0 ones gives me 300. So, knowing that, I want us to take a look at the square it up method. I am going to square everything except for my ones place. So if I square everything except for my ones place, the only numbers that I'm going to square will be the 0 in the tens and the 3 in the hundreds. And we know in order for us to subtract, we have to have a number on the top that will work for us. So when I square it up, the number that you square up, I want you to think to yourself, what is 1 less than that number that we squared up? So then what is 1 less than 30? Good. It would just be like doing 30 minus 1. Well, what is 30 minus 1? What is 1 less than 30? Absolutely, it's 29. So 1 less. I know that you guys have practiced that in class, so think to yourself, what would be 1 less than your squared up number? Well, 1 less than 30 is 29. So Miss Ayala is going to come back over here, cross out that 30, put 29, but in the ones place, I'm going to write the 10 because 300 still equals 29 tens because remember we discovered that 29 tens equals 290. And we know that because 30 tens gave us the 300. So 1 less would be 290 plus the 10 that is now in the ones place gives us the sum of 300. So 300 written this way, 300 just like it shows here in your problem is the same thing as having 29 tens and then 10 in the ones place. They both equal the same number. I want you to relate it to your place value when you had to find more than one way to show a number. This is exactly how we do that. 29 tens plus 10 ones is the same as 300. So now we can easily subtract. What is 10 minus 6? Excellent. 4. What is 9? Because now I have 9 here in the tens place. What is 9 minus 5? Excellent. 4. And 2 minus 1 is 1. So we just figured out that the difference is 144. 300 minus 156 gives you the difference of 144. Now, I'm calling it the difference because that is the answer to a subtraction problem. It is called the difference. Let's try another one. Let's say our number is 500. Our problem will be 500 minus 286. Okay, 286. Now, looking at it again, I know I can use the square it up method because I have a number that's in the hundreds. This only works with numbers in the hundreds. So if I'm going to subtract across 0, I know right away that what I can do is I can square it up. Now, students, what two place values do I square up? Absolutely right. It is going to be my tens and my hundreds place. Do I touch the ones at all right now? No, we sure don't. You're absolutely right. We'd leave it alone. We do not touch the ones place right now. Now, for my square it up, I boxed off the number 50. And in my head, I have to think about my place value. Well, what's 1 less than 50? Everyone. Absolutely right. 1 less than 50 is 49. So I'm going to write the 4 in the hundreds, the 9 in the tens. But I have to think, if I square it up and I make that 49, what happens to my ones place? I have to give it that extra 10. So, where do I put my ones? Good job, I put my 10. And I know, because of place value, that 49 tens equals how much, guys? Excellent, it equals 490. And that 10 that I put in the ones place, if I put all of that back together, it will equal my 500. Good job. So I double checked and made sure that yes, 1 less than 50 is 49. 49 tens gives me 490. 490 plus 10 gave me that 500. So I'm all set. Now I can subtract. Straight down. And of course, what place value do we start with when we're subtracting? Good job. Yes, the ones place. So what is 10 minus 6? Excellent. It is 4. What is 9 minus 8? Good, 1. And 4 minus 2? 2. Wonderful job. The difference is 214. 214. When I subtract 500 minus 286, the difference is 214. Good job. Let's try one more. Looking at this subtraction problem, we're going to go a little faster through this one since you have already learned your squared up method. Think to yourself, which place value do you leave all alone? Don't touch. That's right, the ones place. Don't touch the ones. So square it up. Tell me what place values I should have my square around. Excellent. The tens and the hundreds place. So I squared it up. Now, I'm going to help my ones. I'm going to help everybody here. So once I did my square it up, I have to think to myself, well, what is 1 less than 80? That's going to be the big thing, is you're always going to think to yourself, what is 1 less than whatever number you squared up? So what's 1 less than 80? Good, 79. And see how Miss Ayala's lining it up? Please, students, make sure you are lining up your numbers there. Now, if I have 79, what goes here in my ones place? What do I have to put to give me the total of 800, what it was originally? Good job. You remembered the 10. The 10 needs to go there. Now I have 79 tens plus 10 tens gives me the full 800. This is just another way. I'm regrouping it to look a little different. So now, can I subtract? Yes, I sure can. So let's go ahead and do. We always start with the ones place. So what is 10 minus 4? Good. 6. What is 9 minus 2? 7. And 7 minus 5? 2. Good job. 276 is the difference between 800 and 524. So I found my answer. Let's see. I want to give you one all by yourself. I want you to try it straight through. Let's see if you remember which numbers to square up, what to take away from your squared up number, and what you give the ones place. So we're going to go all the way through. Let's see what you do. Okay, students, here's your problem. Teachers, go ahead and pause the video because I want to see how your students do. See if they use the squared up method. Let's see which ones they square and what they do to find the difference. Go ahead and pause your video, teachers. Okay, students, you should have gotten the difference of 547. Your boxed number should have been the number 70 because you boxed everything except the ones place. So here it would have been the tens place and the hundreds place. So you should have gotten 70 inside your box. Then you always ask the question, what is one less? That is your question you ask yourself, one less. So one less than 70, of course, is 69. So I put the 6 in the hundreds, the 9 in the tens, and I had to remember, I can't forget about my ones place. So 69 tens plus 10 tens equals the 700 that I originally started with. So I knew that I did it correctly just by looking at what I put above my square and what I gave my ones place. Then it was easy subtraction straight down. 10 minus 3 is 7, 9 minus 5 is 4, and 6 minus 5 is 1. All right, guys, good job. I can't wait to see how you do subtracting across zeros. Remember, use the square it up. You will box all the numbers except the ones place. So remember that, guys. Box everything but the ones place and think to yourself, what is one less? Your ones place will always get a 10, but you have to think, what is one less in order for you to do the square it up subtraction method. All right, guys, it's your turn. Go have some math fun.